Ever get that feeling you're using much when it should be many? Or, you get kind of stuck between some and any? Don't worry, you are not alone. In the next few minutes, we're going to clear up all that confusion for good. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's just dive right in. We're going to kick things off by spotting a few mistakes that pretty much everyone makes when they're learning English. So have a look at these next sentences. Do they look a little familiar?
So take a look at that column on the left. Much students, a few money. Something about that just doesn't quite sound right, does it? Now be honest, have you ever used phrases like these? It is a super common mistake, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly why they're wrong and how to get them right every time. And that's really the whole point, isn't it? Knowing something is wrong is one thing, but understanding why it's wrong, that's how you really learn and improve. So stick around because we're about to unlock the secret, and trust me, it is way simpler than you think.
Okay, so the solution to all this confusion lies with a special group of words called quantifiers. It sounds like a fancy name, but their job is actually super simple. They just tell us about quantity. They're the words that answer how much or how many.
So here it is, the main idea. A quantifier is simply a word that you pop in right before a noun to tell us about the amount. It's not focused on what something is, but on how much or how many of it there is. Simple as that.
And you can see exactly how it works right here. See, we don't just say water, we get more specific and say some water. We don't just say students, we say many students. These little words, they make a huge difference in what we're trying to say. Okay, now we're at the most important part. How do you actually pick the right word? Well, it all comes down to two simple rules. Think of this next section as your personal guide to using these words like a pro.
Here we go. Rule number 1, and this is the big one. The quantifier you need to choose depends completely on the noun that comes after it. So you just have to ask yourself one question. Can I count this thing? Is this noun countable or uncountable?
So, let's look at our first pair, many and much. The rule here is crystal clear. We use many for things we can actually count. One car, two cars, many cars. And we use much for stuff we can't count, like information or time. You can't say one information or two times, right? So you use much. And what's really cool is that the exact same logic applies to our next pair, a few and a little. A few is for a small number of things you can count, like, a few clients, a few meetings. And a little is for a small amount of something you can't count, like a little time or a little experience. You see that pattern? It's the same rule.
And hey, here's a fantastic little tip for you. If you're ever in doubt when you're talking about a large quantity, a lot of is your best friend. Seriously, it's the super flexible option that works with both countable nouns like a lot of students and uncountable nouns like a lot of work. It's a great one to have in your back pocket.
Okay, on to our second big rule. This time, it's not just about the noun. It's about the kind of sentence you're using. You have to ask, is this sentence positive, is it negative, or is it a question? Because that answer tells you whether to use some or any. Here's how it breaks down. We usually use some for positive statements, like, I have some emails, or when we're offering something like, would you like some coffee? But the moment that sentence becomes negative or a question, any just takes over. For example, I don't have any money, or do you have any questions? All right, theory is great and all, but practice is where it really starts to stick. So let's do a quick little quiz to see how you're doing. I'm going to show you a sentence with a blank space, and you decide which quantifier fits best. You ready?
Okay, first one up, we have blank meetings today. What do you think goes in there? The key word is meetings. Can you count meetings? Take a second.
And the answer is many. If you said many, you are absolutely right. Why? Because you can count meetings. One meeting, two meetings. So for a large number, we say many. Of course, a lot of works here too. Excellent. Okay, challenge number 2. She has blank experience in marketing. So what's the key noun this time? Experience. Is that something you can count up? That's right, it's a little. Experience is one of those uncountable concepts. You can have more of it or less of it, but you can't put a number on it. So for a small amount, we say a little experience. Great job. And the last one for today, do you have blank questions? Now for this one, pay attention to the noun, sure, but also think about the type of sentence this is. The answer is any. Perfect. Even though questions is totally countable, the sentence itself is a question,
And as we just learned, for questions and for negative sentences, any is our go-to word. See? You're totally getting this. All right, to pull this all together and make it super easy to remember, we've made a handy little summary for you. Think of this next slide as your personal cheat sheet for quantifiers. It's got all the key rules right there in one place. And there it is, all boiled down. For your countable nouns, you've got many and a few. For the uncountables, you've got much and a little. When it comes to the sentence type, you use some for positives and offers and any for questions and negatives. And don't forget your flexible friend, a lot of. It works for big quantities of pretty much anything. It really is that straightforward. So, at the end of the day, getting a handle on these simple rules is what's going to make your English sound so much more natural, more precise, and way more professional. Thanks so much for watching, and keep putting it into practice.